How can I stop feeling burnt out and overwhelmed by all the work I have to do inside my business?
What I notice is that a lot of entrepreneurs and business people are quite tightly packed. So they say, oh, I haven't got time to teach someone else. I haven't got time to share. And again, it's that thing of you haven't got time not to teach someone else or share, because actually the outward growth comes from connectivity. You know, one becomes two. Well, now what happens is you've got to learn the dance of two. What does that mean? You know, you're bringing someone else into your environment, but based on the fact that you teach them really well, that can be fun and enjoyable, because now we've got this integration, this activity, this teamwork, this union, and then two can move to three, can move to four. So quite often what people are saying that they're fatigued with, and this might come as a surprise to people, is their own inability to grow. So people have forgotten how to grow, and part of growth is quite often including and expanding. And so we've become weak and we've become fickle, and therefore people talk about this, I want an easy life. Well, what if life was meant to be continually challenging so that we will continue to grow, we will continue to expand, we will continue to grow things that include other people, that generate opportunities for other people. And then as a consequence, our contribution becomes bigger, more effective, and in fact more enjoyable. Because at each level of growth, when we go from 1 to 2, we have to then learn to rebalance and harmonize. Then when we go to 2 to say 4, it becomes an integration process. We have to rebalance and reharmonize. So what most people end up doing is running away from skills and resources and letting them go far too easily and far too cheaply. Well, what does that reflect? It's this throwaway mentality that we have in society. You know, it's like the fast food mentality. It's like when people come to watch content, they'll watch the first 30 seconds and then they'll move on to the next thing. So what are we, in that way, we've lost our ability to attend to and give our attention to fully in order to really become a great problem solver. And quite often people aren't good at solving problems. Well, what do I call problems myself? I call them priorities. And then when we address something as a priority, not as a problem, that's when the growth occurs. Because it's like, it's a puzzle that I need to work through that's going to lead to my next level of evolution, my next level of growth. What you'll do is you'll create a journey, a path from where you are to where you want to be. Now this path, this journey is a process. And then I've said it on other occasions, you'll invite in other perspectives. So the perspective might be, you know, people can get breakthroughs just by hearing one transformative comment. The problem is the way you see the problem. So that allows me to know, okay, the perspective that you've currently got on the work that you're doing is leading you to being stressed and to burn out. So therefore, can we now go a little bit deeper and find out how it is that you're looking at the world, or even just looking at your business, such that you get stressed and you burn out? What we can then do is help you to change that by enriching your perspective, which might also lead to some skills development. What do I mean by that? Okay, there's certain actions that you need to take. One of the actions may be you need to just slow down. Another action that you may need is that you need to go and just sit in silence and be introspective. Another action that you might need to take is you need to journal. Why? Because what you're really communicating with me is a lack of self-awareness. You've become aware that you can get up in the morning, do a thing called a job, and by the end of the day feel stressed. So I then say to you, well, what I've learned to do is I've learned to get up in the morning, do a job all day, be delighted with the way the day went and the job that I did, and be happy and harmonious. And we ask ourselves then, what's the difference in our two perspectives? And that leads me to the wonderful Buddhist saying, before I was enlightened, so when I was stressed doing my job, I chopped wood and I carried water. And then after I was enlightened, I chopped wood and I carried water. See, it's the same doing, it's the same job, but it's with a different inner state of awareness, more self-awareness, a shift in perception, which is what actually gives everybody the change that they're looking for.